Oh, and it looks like we're going. So 100%, as the name implies, we get every item. There's many different routes that we could take that roughly save the same amount of time. I can't talk. I believe both of these guys will actually be going for the same route, I want to say, roughly. So that should be interesting. Dudeopi getting Morph Ball a little bit slower than you would think. I'm not sure what happened there. That was kind of strange. This first room is pretty tricky because you have to kill these gamers. Or else you'll get hit. And we don't like getting hit because that's slow. So the first 3 rooms are pretty straightforward. And now we're going to be heading into the climb, which is the first major hurdle of the run. You want to try and jump over this ripper, which Destructor does successfully. And the only way to really beat it is if you kind of jump off the platform as soon as you land on it, so you can beat it to where it's going. It's always on the same cycle every time, so you at least know that it's consistent. Dudeopi and Destructor make it through no problem. Destructor about to fight the cave worm and grabbing missiles. You can land 2 missiles up at once on the cave worm, and it will bypass around. I don't know if Destructor got it. He did, so that's what that looks like. We pick up Charge Beam here. We didn't always used to do that, but we pick up Charge Beam here for a couple minor time saves, and then one really cool looking strat that we'll see in about 10-15 minutes or so. Caveworm has a chance of spitting out spikes that cost 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure neither of them got that, so that's good. So now we're heading into Hive Room. This is probably the biggest reset point in Brinstar. It's pretty execution heavy. You need to be able to manipulate these flies as best as possible. Dudeopi falling. Unfortunate. Oh, Destructor getting hit by that hive? That's interesting. But makes it through with no problems besides that. Dudeopi now going to take a crack at Hive Room. There's lots of tiny optimizations throughout this run, mainly in the movement. There are many techniques and strats that save a lot of time, but if you're just starting out or if you're at a lower or mid-level, most of your time save comes from optimizing your movement. And Destructor is demonstrating that that is the case. So now Destructor has bombs. We can use these to... Oh, Dudeopi is actually having a bit of trouble. Hold that thought. He's at 11 health. He does not want to die here. Oh, God. Oh, God. He can only take 2 more hits. The flies do 5 damage each. Okay. Kills the hive. He should be good. Big Monka-S moment for Dudeopi, but makes it through. Destructor killing those bugs. They control you sometimes with their pattern, but doesn't seem to have a problem there. So the first major route deviation that we would see here is after getting bombs, we would go up and then clean up Upper Brinstar. We call this early Brinstar cleanup. Destructor does not go for it. I cannot imagine Dudeopi goes for it. It's pretty difficult to do. But the reason it's viable to do that route is because we get an extra E-tank, which will be just helpful overall in a few specific places. Dudeopi getting bombs. And all that's left for Destructor is to grab one more missile tank. And he'll be on his way to Kraid. He wants to have a decent missile count here. 15 is okay. He's going to try and look for drops. We want to have... I don't know the exact number, but 15 is not the worst amount to have. Destructor, you can't reach the gamer from there. But it's important in Brinstar to take as little damage as possible so you can ensure that you can get missile drops as much as possible. Because when you're at full health, you have a higher chance of getting missile drops. Not a 100% chance, but it's a higher chance. Destructor is going to be leaving Brinstar with 20 missiles. That's not ideal. He's probably going to want to farm for a little bit in Kraid. It shouldn't lose him a whole lot of time. But he will still definitely need to farm, for sure. Meanwhile, Dudeopi almost done cleaning up Brinstar. So Kraid, normally, if you're playing casually, you would finish up in Brinstar and then head to Norfair to grab the Power Grip and Criteria, and then come back to Norfair and grab Ice Beam, and then go to Kraid. Instead, we just go straight to Kraid in the run. And because of that, that makes certain sections of this area a little difficult. We'll be seeing that in a couple rooms for Destructor. You might want to farm these flies. Yeah, good call. Still has... He has enough missiles for what's coming up, but it's not a safe number to have. So I think he's going to want to hope that he gets a few more drops. Oh, Destructor having trouble with wall jumps here. And the bomb jumps. So bombs are very, very powerful. One biggest reason being you can bomb jump with them in many different ways. What you just saw was a diagonal bomb jump. We have to do a few diagonal bomb jumps in Kraid to make it past certain areas that would otherwise require the Power Grip. And they're a little trickier than they look. Destructor, I feel, is going to farm these flies for a second. Yep. Okay, now he's good. 34 is enough. So coming up is Acid Worm. Acid Worm takes 30 missiles to kill. So having exactly 30 is technically enough, but I'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who fires exactly the right amount of missiles. Destructor missing a couple, that could be bad. That could spell trouble, actually. Hopefully, it shouldn't be a problem for him. Okay. All good, and gets good enough missile drops. We want to have 20 missiles now. Missile management's pretty important early on in the run. So he's going to grab one more missile tank on his way to the giant side hopper room where he needs 20 missiles to kill both of them because they take 10 missiles each. So he'll have 18 missiles after this tank. And there's usually a good chance that the side hoppers will drop missiles when you kill them because they drop 3 drops each. So hopefully Destructor won't have to worry about it. Dudeopi coming up to the first diagonal bomb jump of the run. And gets a missile drop too, that's good. And gets a first try. He actually has a bit of a weird missile count. It's pretty low. I don't think he healed at bombs. So... Oh, Dudeopi, you didn't have to bomb jump up there. I mean, it works. If you fall there, it's better to just take the ball cannon. So Destructor doing another diagonal bomb jump here. That one's tougher than it looks because you have to wait for the bombs to the blocks to respawn if you mess that up. Somewhere along the way, Destructor picked up an extra missile drop, so he'll have enough for this room. Dudeopi farming to full missiles for Acid Worm, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to play it safe, that's perfectly respectable. So let's see how this fight goes. I thought he ran off a little too late, but it seemed to work out, thankfully. Gotta make the wall jump up and jump back down. Oh, not getting the 2-cycle Acid Worm. Okay. That lost a bit of time, but nothing insurmountable, and Dudeopi will have no trouble having enough missiles for Giant Side Hopper Room. Destructor doing the most boring room in the game. We just have to kill these speed blocks and then ride the zip line towards the missile tank. Now Destructor's going to be heading towards the first unknown item of the run. What does it do? I don't know. It's unknown. Maybe we'll find out later. But for now, oh, Destructor going for the refill glitch, not getting it. The refill glitch is where you fall into the hand of the Chozo statue as you're grabbing the item, so you're healing and grabbing the item at the same time. It's a pretty dumb trick, and it doesn't save that much time, so it's not a huge deal if you miss it. So the interesting thing about the room Destructor's in right now is that the way he's killing those side hoppers. So when you're running, your beams and missiles have a different trajectory when you aim them diagonally. So what you want to do is you want to shoot them far in advance a little bit so you can hit the side hoppers as you're running towards them. Now Destructor's going to be fighting Kraid, which is definitely the hardest boss in this run. And that brings me to, oh, what happened, Destructor? That was weird. He kind of just stopped doing stuff. But still a good enough Kraid fight. Not ideal, but good enough. So Destructor picks up Speed Booster. It is definitely one of those versatile upgrades in the game. You basically just want to run for a certain amount of time, and then you'll start speeding up. And then if you crouch, you can store a Shine Spark, and then you can redirect your Speed Booster elsewhere. And there are a ton of tricks with the Speed Booster that we'll be seeing in this run. Meanwhile, Dudeopi almost a Kraid. Oh, Destructor, what's going on? Not hitting the button. Now Destructor is going to be heading out of Kraid. Dudeopi forgetting to heal by the looks of it. That's unfortunate. That loses quite a bit of time. It's important to be good at bomb jumps in this category, because there are many, many places where bomb jumping is either required or significantly faster. So it's good to have a solid grasp. You don't have to be perfect at it, but you certainly need to be solid with it. Now, Dudeopi heading into the Kraid fight. So, another interesting thing about missiles is you can't just mash the B button mindlessly in order to use them as fast as possible. You actually need to press it in a bit of a rhythm. Oh, Dudeopi getting kind of bad luck there. So, when you fight Kraid, you want to open his mouth and then fire 2 missiles in the air, and that definitely requires a certain rhythm in order to get that. Meanwhile, Destructor doing Charge Spark. This is the big reason why we get Charge Beam so early, so we can do this. I believe it doesn't save a ton of time, but it saves enough time that it's worth going for. It's worth changing up the route so that we can get Charge Beam early. I would say Dudeopi is maybe, geez, like a couple minutes at least behind Destructor right now. Meanwhile, Destructor heading into Norfair now. He's going to be making his way towards Criteria to grab the Power Grip, because there is a Vine in Norfair that blocks our way until we get Power Grip, so we kind of have to get it now. There's literally no other place in the run we can get it. So Speed Booster also breaks Speed Booster blocks. So what Dudeopi just did required Speed Booster, because those blocks were speed blocks, so he had to Speed Boost through it. So now Destructor is going to be using a series of Shine Sparks to grab the Super Missiles. This is a big reason. Destructor has to get his movement a bit. This is a big reason why we go to Crate first, so we can grab these specific Super Missiles in Criteria. So this ensures that we can clean up almost all of Norfair in one pass, in one trip through Norfair. Whereas casually, you would need to go to Norfair a few times, which is very slow. So now we have Power Grip that lets us grab ledges and corners, as that prompt just said. So now we're going to be doing really the only real infinite bomb jump in the run. If we don't do this, we would have to wait for this pillar to come up and spawn platforms, which is pretty slow. So we want to avoid that. So now Destructor is just going to be heading back down into Norfair. And Dudeopi grabbing this missile tank now. Interesting choice. You don't really need to do that now. I would almost say that it's faster to grab it when we're cleaning up Upper Brinstar. Oh, Dudeopi going for a Charge Spark. Oh, interesting. I think he Shine Spark to the left too. Oh. Yeah, that was... I don't know what was up with that. In fact, he probably lost time from doing that. Don't know entirely what he was going for there. So now... Destructor is going to be heading up towards Ice Beam. While Dudeopi is just now heading into Norfair. So Ice Beam lets us freeze enemies and use them as platforms, which will result in a very interesting trick we'll see a little bit later on in the run. So Norfair is another place in the run where we would potentially see a route deviation. I don't think we will. There is a route through Norfair called Newfair, which does some cool stuff, but Destructor isn't doing it, and I'm pretty sure Dudeopi does not do it. So we won't be seeing that this run. So right here, Destructor is about to show us why we get Speed Booster when we do, because in order to get to the lower parts of Norfair, we do need Speed Booster. And Super Missiles, because there's a Super Missile door right here, which lets us get this missile tank now instead of much later. Dudeopi getting Super Missiles. Oh, this is a Super Missile tank. Apologies. I thought it was a missile tank. And that missile tank that Destructor just got is really scary to miss, because that would require you to either revisit it during cleanup at the end of the game, or Shine Spark all the way back through that room now, which either way it loses a lot of time. So that's a pretty scary one. So, casually, we would have the Various suit right now, which lets us not take damage from the heat, but we don't grab Various suit because the game just kind of gives it to us, which I'll talk about more later, but we don't really need the Various suit at all. We can actually make it through all of the heated rooms just fine without it. Making Various suit the literal most useless item in the game. Unfortunately. Destructor should be taking a heal here, I want to say. Yep. And gets the refill glitch. Cool, we can see what that looks like. It saves a little bit of time. It's worth going for. Well, maybe worth going for, debatably. But now, we have Screw Attack, which is not as busted as it is in Fusion, but it's still a pretty good upgrade to have. And now Destructor is going to be entering the next heated room. Energy management is super important in Warfare. Because you don't want to die in the heated rooms. Everyone has at some point. It happens to the best of us. But obviously, dying in the heated rooms is not ideal. So we want to avoid that. Which is why we sort of route out how we heal and in what places we heal. And if played correctly, we only need to heal at Screw Attack. Oh, is Dudeopi going for the Rio Room Spark? Oh, he just misses it. That's a shame. It's not exactly an instrumental trick to get, but it would have been cool to see. That would have required doing something called a Shine Break, which is breaking a speed booster block below you and then storing a Shine Spark, so you can drop down and continue Shine Sparking. That's one of the... Actually, never mind. Forgot I said anything. Now Destructor's going through the last heated room. And he's actually going to be doing an interesting trick where he shoots that Kirigiru through the wall. It's just because Samus's arm cannon sort of reaches through the wall and can just kill it like that. Oh, Destructor getting a pretty gnarly fight there. Not what you want to see. You want to get it in 2 cycles at most. 1 cycle ideally. But 2 cycles is okay. So now Destructor's going to be heading towards the cocoon. And Dudeopi getting Screw Attack. So yeah, I would still say that they're roughly 2 minutes behind. Destructor showing us the 100% strat for this boss. Very, very fast. Super clean fight for Destructor. So Destructor's immediately going to go back up the elevator when he comes down, because we're going to go fight Imago. And it just so happens that we have around the right amount of super missiles to kill Imago in 1 cycle, making it very fast. Hopefully Destructor will get that. This is another area of the game where knowing how to mash missiles correctly is very important. Because otherwise you won't get the one cycle, you just won't. So Destructor getting a clean fight. Now gonna go for a Mago Spark. Should be good. You want to store your Shine Spark right in front of that missile block so you can shoot it and then remorph immediately. And Destructor gets it. So in Ridley, we want to try and get as many super drops as possible. These owls happen to have a very high chance of dropping supers, as you can see. So we want to try and get as many of them as possible. Now Destructor is going to be doing Ice Clip, which is something I was talking about before, or something I alluded to, where you freeze two enemies on top of each other, place a bomb, and you'll clip through the floor. There's a very technical explanation as to how that works. I'm not the guy that can give that to you, but to my knowledge, it's really pretty lucky that we can do that there. That just happens to work out that way. So speed boosting is an essential part of Ridley. So having proficiency is Dudeopi going. Wait, what is he doing right now? Okay, I wasn't sure what he was doing. I was like, wait, is there a spark here? That Dudeopi getting this super or this missile tank now? That's interesting choice. What is he doing exactly? I think Dudeopi might have the route confused a little bit. I actually don't know what he's doing right now. He didn't go for New Fair, did he? Oh, he did go for New Fair. Wait, I'm kind of lost right now. Oh, I see. He missed that missile tank. I didn't even notice that. Okay. I understand. That's extremely unfortunate. I don't think it was the right choice to go back for it. Oh, he misses it again. Oh. I don't think it was the right choice to go back for it now. It's much better to go to get this missile tank and clean up if you miss it. I don't agree with this choice. Meanwhile, Destructor doing the puzzle rooms in Ridley. As I was saying before, this is the speed jump. It is a 4-frame jump. It is developer intended. There's no other way to do this room. You have to do it that way. So pretty gnarly nor that we have to do that. Dudeopi actually did go for New Fair. I should have been paying attention to his screen more. That's pretty cool. I would not have expected that, actually. So New Fair involves... basically, a lot of its time save comes from grabbing the missile tank next to the high jump room, which saves about 7 seconds. But that also involves not getting Ice Beam until the end of Norfair. So he just got it now. And he'll be heading down into Norfair, taking the Ridley shortcut, which you would normally see in any percent. So, Ridley and Speed Booster in general is a very punishing trick, because a lot of the strats that require Speed Booster lose a significant amount of time if you... Oh, Dudeopi. Oh, he didn't get... I'm sorry. I keep getting not only distracted with other things, but because I'm so bad at remembering what New Fair actually is that I keep thinking Dudeopi is messing up. So I apologize for that. Anyways, because Speed Booster loses a lot of time. Tricks that involve Shine Sparking lose a lot of time. I apologize for my... Yeah. Because if you miss it, you have to go set it up again. Which in some cases doesn't lose a ton of time, in other cases it's pretty catastrophic. And Ridley has some pretty catastrophic time losses if you mess up your Shine Sparks. So we want to avoid that. Meanwhile, Destructor about to fight Ridley. He has 8 supers, that's a good number. That's why we want to have a lot of supers, is because if we do, Ridley dies pretty quickly, as we're about to see. So Dudeopi is going to be fighting the Cocoon, while Destructor is going to fight Ridley. Yeah, don't blink, you'll probably miss the Ridley fight otherwise. That's the entire fight. The bosses in Zero Mission are pretty easy for the most part, unlike Fusion. Dudeopi making it through the Imago Cocoon fight. Going to be heading down to Ridley now. Now, at this point, I would say there is maybe a 6 or 7 minute time difference between these two runners. Oh, I just realized Destructor did not get any super drops from Ridley and only got 1 super drop from Speedway. That sucks. You want to have a lot of supers leaving Ridley, so that's pretty unfortunate for Destructor. Let's see how Dudeopi does with... Oh, Destructor missing that. Let's see how Dudeopi does with this fight. Almost gets it first cycle. This should only take a couple more missiles. Not doing the proper backup, though. Oh, there you go. Now Destructor gets some super drops. Okay. Destructor leaving Ridley while Dudeopi is just getting started. Dudeopi going for Imago Spark. Does not get it, sadly. It's not a big deal. It doesn't lose a ton of time. That's one of those That's one of the Shine Spark tricks that doesn't lose a lot of time if you miss it, because you don't have to go back and set it up again. You just move on. Oh, and Dudeopi falling down in this room. Not something you want to see, for sure. Dudeopi should really be killing those owls to get super drops. That might spell trouble for him later. Something I didn't mention before is that in order for Ice Clip to work, we need to kill this orb that Dudeopi just killed. For some reason, that makes it so that you can freeze 2 enemies on top of each other. Otherwise, you can't. Don't know why. Once again. Now Destructor is going to be doing the Brinstar Super, which shows off the Ball Spark, which I don't think we have seen yet. So Zero Mission added the ability to Shine Spark and Morph Ball, which is super cool. This is one of the instances in which we use it. Destructor doing that very cleanly. And Dudeopi getting through this first puzzle room fairly well. Now Destructor's going to be heading up towards Upper Brinstar to clean that up. Which is where Verysuit is located, but like I said, we will not be getting it. Let's see how Dudeopi does with this Shine Spark. This one is fairly technical and loses a lot of time if you mess it, which luckily Dudeopi probably messed it up in the best place possible, so. Meanwhile, Destructor waiting for these bugs. This is RNG entirely. Just gotta have to wait for them to do their thing. Oh, Destructor getting pretty bad luck. Wow, this is really slow. It's just part of the game. Just gotta deal with it. It's one of the more extreme repercussions of bad RNG, I would say, which I think says a lot about this game. In a good way, I mean. So Dudeopi getting that puzzle room down pretty well too. Let's see how he does with Speed Jump. Gets a first try. Alright, Dudeopi's had a pretty clean Ridley so far, apart from Imago, so good stuff to him. So now Destructor just has to grab one more missile tank and a long beam, which We would, and casually you would get in the beginning of the game, but we're getting it now. Yeah, Torian is definitely also one of the huge RNG heavy areas of the game, which we'll be seeing in a second. It can definitely lose a ton of time if you get bad RNG. I believe we've all had that happen to us. To be honest, I sure have. Many times. And it's never fun. But you just gotta deal with it. The room Dudeopi is in now, you don't want to fall down because you have to do a Shine Spark back up and it loses a ton of time, but Dudeopi gets through just fine. Now Destructor's about to enter Torian. And hopefully for him, he's not entering with a ton of super missiles, so hopefully he will get good drops. The main RNG factor in Torian is what the Metroids drop. So ideally, we want to get as many super missiles as possible from the Metroids. But as it turns out, that doesn't happen super often. So we have to see how this goes. No supers yet. Oh, he misses that super. Okay, but it's okay. He gets very good drops in that room. Works out. There are certain spots where Destructor wants to save super missiles. This is one of them. Oh no, he gets grabbed. Okay. Gets out of it very quickly. Good stuff to him. We want to have at least 4 super missiles at all times for the Mother Brain fight. Meanwhile, Dudeopi fighting Ridley, and oh no, what's happening? Okay, it looked like he tanked some of his supers. I don't know what happened, but he still has 2 supers left, which is interesting. I don't know why that is. Oh, Destructor missing another super. Dudeopi did not die, no. He's just behind. Okay, Destructor has gotten pretty good super drops for the most part, I would say. Not the best, but it'll do. Dudeopi. Oh, Dudeopi, why didn't you grab that? That's okay. So now Destructor is going to be fighting Mother Brain. If he had good RNG, he would have more than 4 super missiles to help him kill Mother Brain's tank, but it's okay. He needs to shoot 20 missiles at the tank to kill it. And then 4, 8, 12, 15 regular missiles, and then 4 super missiles to kill Destructor, to kill Mother Brain. Yes, he needs those. He needs missiles and super missiles to kill Destructor. It's true. So now, when Mother Brain dies, you can kind of just run against her as she's dying, and you can charge up a speed booster, which you can then use to Shine Spark up that shaft like this, which is neat. Saves a few seconds. And now Destructor's going to be escaping, but falling. Uncharacteristic mistake. Tisk tisk. Yeah, Destructor. Oh, Destructor's having some pretty. He's having some movement. Let's just say. But no matter. He escaped. So now Dudeopi is going to be going for Brindstar Super, while Destructor is about to start the Suitless sequence. Suitless is pretty cool because it is literally the same in every single category and should be executed the same every single time you go through it, making it the most consistent section of the game. I'm not sure if Destructor is going to heal here. As you can see, he only has 100 health right now. And Space Pirates do exactly 100 damage, so if you get hit even once without healing, you're dead. And in a race setting, it's usually recommended to heal before getting started, but you don't really have to. I don't know if Destructor's going to. He is. I think that's a good call. And in fact, I would dare say that healing in Suitless is probably the ideal thing to do until you're at a pretty high level. Or if you're just extremely confident in your Suitless. Dudeopi having a bit of trouble getting up this room. He can just grab the ledge here. I don't know. There you go. Destructor going to go for Team Kill, which is a fairly new strat. It requires, or it entails, 2 Space Pirates killing each other like this. It saves a second over the old strat, which is, well, not old, but another strat called just Tripwire Skip. So it saves about a second. And if you can do it, you might as well go for it. Dudeopi has had a bit of trouble in this section with the movement overall, and that goes back to what I said before. Movement is such an important aspect of this run and of GBA Droid in general. So it's very important to have good movement. Dudeopi is looking very good with his 11 supers, though. That's what you want to have going into Torian. So it's very good for him. The Suitless section actually requires, well, not requires, but the Suitless section entails taking a couple really cool shortcuts that you probably would never even knew existed until you watched a speedrun of this game, like the one Destructor just took. I sure as heck did not know that existed playing it casually. They save, I don't even know how much time they save. I gotta be honest, I don't even remember what a lot of the Suitless section looks like from when I played it casually, because you just take the shortcuts. They probably save, I would imagine they save a lot of time. I would imagine. Where Kraid requires you to be confident in your bomb jumping, Suitless requires you to be confident in your single wall jumping, because there is a lot of that in this area. Destructor showing off Sam Strat, which makes it so you don't have to jump into a save room to turn off the alarm. You know, Dudeopi about to get started with Torian. Super drop right off the bat, that's good to see. There's not much else to talk about on Destructor's end until he gets to Charlie, so let's focus on Dudeopi for a sec. Doing pretty well so far. Oh, Dudeopi missing a super. That's so unfortunate. And then getting terrible drops after. Yeah, Dudeopi has now gotten no super drops for quite a while, so he's gonna have to switch back to using normal missiles. He has a lot of missiles. I want to say he healed somewhere. I would not be surprised if he healed somewhere. I did not see, though. Oh my god, Dudeopi almost getting eaten there. So now Destructor is going to be fighting Charlie. Which this fight involves shooting his little glyph as it lights up. And while healing at Suitless is 100% slower than skipping the heal, at least there is one small advantage to it in that you can sort of manipulate the RNG of this fight a little bit. If you damage boost off Charlie, not on the first round, but on the following 3 rounds, if you damage boost, his glyph will activate a little bit faster. Dudeopi now fighting Mother Brain. Destructor having a really good fight so far. Destructor had a really good... That was a very clean, solid Charlie. Good RNG, good execution. Well done. Dudeopi is chipping away at Mother Brain and gets her down. And now we will obtain Plasma Beam, Space Jump, and Gravity Suit from the unknown items we got, and Varia Suit. Because once you get Gravity Suit, the game just says, well, alright, just give it Varia Suit. That is the reason we don't have to go get it ourselves. We can just get it from this, and it counts towards our percentage. So now we're in Chozodia cleanup, probably one of the harder areas of the game, and we've also now entered cleanup, so now we're just going to go through and collect everything we couldn't collect before. Starting with this E-Tank and Missile Tank that Destructor is about to go for. This is called the Charlie Spark. It is the most punishing trick in the game. If you miss it, it loses so much time, so Destructor gets it, no problem. And that is the first major trick of Chozodia cleanup. There's maybe 2 other very important tricks that we'll see in this section. Our goal right now for Destructor is to get power bombs. There's only one place we can get our first power bomb tank from, so we have to go all the way there. It's in the mothership, which is quite a bit away from where we are right now, so that's where we gotta go. Power bombs are not a required item to beat the game, so if you're playing low percent or any percent, you don't even see power bombs ever, but obviously this is 100%, so we do have to go get it. Dudeopi getting started with Suitless. We can do this cool Shine Spark up this shaft to just get to the top, and we can also get this Pirate to help us with destroying that platform there, which I think is really cool. Oh, Destructor's timer is frozen. Well, no matter, as long as he's in the SRL room, which I'm sure he is. It doesn't really matter, but kind of strange. I don't know why that is. Dudeopi probably going to go for normal tripwire skip, where we have to go to the end of here and then start spin jumping as soon as we break that, and gets it, no problem. Like I said, there's not a huge time difference there. Team kill only saves like 1 second, so it's not extremely important to do. Oh, Dudeopi falls there. That's not a big deal, but you hate to see it happen. Plasma Enhance, there's no real way to soft lock in this run. Maybe if you go out of your way to, but there's no real opportunity to soft lock here, unfortunately. That would be cool, though. That'd be pretty neat. So Destructor is coming up to the next major trick of this section called Door Clip. He's going to grab the power bombs and then place himself on a very specific subpixel that allows him to freeze the Space Pirate on top of him and clip through the door. Gets it, no problem. The reason we go for this route is because managing power bombs is extremely vital for all of cleanup, basically, because you don't really have that many. You only get like 18 or so, and you never have more than like 5 or 6 at a time. So, oh, Dudeopi getting caught there somehow. But because powerbomb management is so tight, we can save a powerbomb by clipping through the door, and then we take a slightly different route from if we didn't do door clip, and it just makes everything more comfortable, and it's not a heck of a lot slower than non-door clip route, which it must, like, obviously, if Destructor I think has like 5th place or something, and if he does door clip route and has a 110, then door clip is a very viable and pretty much recommended route to go for at pretty much every single level of the game, except for like if you're Scotty. So now that we have done door clip, Destructor is going to be heading towards this area of the ship, which if he didn't do door clip, he would have to come here near the end of the game, but we go here now instead. And he's going to have to take a required heal here because we need more power bombs. And this is the only way to get power bombs because no enemies drop power bombs in this area of the game. And of the enemies who do drop power bombs, it is an extremely low chance you even get one. And another added bonus of doing door clip route is because you'll have an extra power bomb tank, or an extra power bomb. Well, actually, it is an extra power bomb tank, I guess. same difference. You have an extra power bomb in order to make a certain. Oh, Dudeopi opting to heal here. I can't blame him if he wants to be safe. Nothing wrong with that. But doing door clip route also makes a certain shine spark much easier to do, which is definitely, I would say, the main reason to even go for this route to begin with. If you don't do door clip, unless you get a power bomb drop, which is very rare, you have to do a very odd and kind of uncomfortable series of shine sparks. For like a good amount of time too. Like it takes a while to actually finish that chain of shine sparks. So if we don't have to do it, we're not going to. Now Destructor is going to do the last major trick of this section called Glass Tube. He's going to break this glass tube with a power bomb and then charge a shine spark over it as it's breaking, and then you use it to break speed blocks down here. Oh, does not get it. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So I believe the backup for missing this strat, because you can't actually go for it again. Once that tube is broken, it's broken. So Destructor has to change up his route pretty significantly now. So we'll be seeing a pretty unorthodox route from Destructor because he missed Glass Tube. Which is cool, because... Oh, and he doesn't get that space boost either. Destructor... It's okay. It happens to the best of us. So Destructor... Now that since he has this extra power bomb, he can do this Shine Spark like this. If he didn't, he would have had to start it in the previous room and kind of carry it all the way over to here. Meanwhile, Dudeopi getting started with the Charlie fight. And Destructor finishing up that Shine Spark chain very nicely. Let's see how Dudeopi does with this fight. Not too bad so far. That was a pretty good fight from Dudeopi. Good stuff. Now Destructor's going to be heading into Ruintorian. To grab a couple more items here. And we'll be seeing a space boost, which he did before, but I didn't mention. A space boost is being in Speed Booster and then space jumping. This is a very cool space boost coming up on Destructor's screen. And it looks like that. Space boosting has a unique advantage of being able to avoid the startup and bonking animation of a normal Shine Spark, which is why we go for it in certain places. Dudeopi is going for Charlie E-Tank. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. He kind of paused for a second. Hopefully he'll be okay. 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 All right, he's fine. Makes it through. Yeah, I guess the casual way of getting that tank in Torian is Shine Sparking, but that's slow, so we don't want to do it. And it's fairly easy to do that space boost, so. So now we're going to clean up Kraid. We revisit pretty much everywhere in cleanup except for Brinstar and Ridley, because we already have everything there. This item that Destructor is getting can only be obtained during cleanup. We can't get until we have the gravity suit. And then the other two items he's going to be getting just happen to be faster. Getting them now. Dudeopi making his way towards the first power bomb tank. Destructor getting the last item in Kraid right now. Now Destructor is going to be heading back into Norfair, which is a really cool section of cleanup. We're going to get to see some cool stuff with that. So he's going to be taking a dip into the lava here. Which, this powerbomb tank that Destructor is about to get is one of the only powerbomb tanks that can be quote-unquote obtained before having the gravity suit, and I say quote-unquote obtained because you can get it without dying. So we have to get it now. Early powerbombs are a bit of a holy grail for 100%. If we can figure out a way to get power bombs early, that would probably open up the route significantly. Now Destructor is going to be doing an extremely cool space boost across this room. The safer and easier strat is to Shine Spark across, but it is faster to Space Boost because, like I said before, there's no startup and bonking animation if we do the Space Boost instead. Now we're going to be doing another cool Space Boost. And then leaving this room, we'll do another Space Boost. Lots of cool Space Boosts. Space Boosting is a really cool strat. Now Destructor is going to be making his way back towards Criteria, but there are 2 more items he needs to get. Dudeopi is coming up on Door Clip. Let's see if he gets it. Oh, what is he? Whoa! Whoa! Okay. I have never seen that setup for Door Clip before. What? I have never seen that before. That was really cool. I've never seen that setup used, ever. I thought he messed it up. Anyways, Destructor doing a really cool ball spark there to get across that entire room. Now he's going to do yet another Space Boost. And now he's going to be heading back into Criteria. And in Criteria, we have 1 more item to get. And then we'll head back into Chozodia to clean the rest of that up and finish the game. Oh, no, he's not. He missed Glass Tube, so we're doing a cool route. I'm not super familiar with how this works, so let's see what happens. I completely forgot he missed Glass Tube. So I'm assuming he's still going for a very out-of-the-way power bomb tank near Charlie, which we had no way of getting to before because we needed power bombs to get it. So that's a bit of a detour. This is a very slow and kind of uneventful part of the run for both runners. Destructor because he's just running towards an item, and Dudeopi because it's just there's not a lot of tricks or anything going on for a couple more minutes. So this tunnel is blocked by power bomb blocks, which is why we have to get this item now, instead of like when we were here the first time, which is annoying. Now Dudeopi is going to be heading towards Glass Tube. And Destructor is going to be doing something that I don't know, because I don't know this route. I want to say he's gonna head back towards the 2 items he didn't grab before because of the glass tube. Yeah, okay. So he's gonna grab the Criteria Missile Tank. Okay, so what he's gonna do is he's gonna grab Criteria Missile Tank. Dudeopi scaring me. Okay. His stream is lagging, but okay, that should work. Yep, makes it through. So he grabs that missile tank, and now he's going to head back towards it this way because he skipped a couple items before. So he's going to do that now. The first of which is in this room. And then there's one more item that he hasn't gotten yet in this area. This will be the other room where you need to get an item. Getting tripped up there by the frozen enemies. So now he's back on track once he grabs the glass tube item. So he's going to have to store a Shine Spark here and then Shine Spark up, which I guess is the quote-unquote intended way of getting this item. I would not imagine that the developers envisioned that casual players would do the glass tube strat, so... Destructor making sure he has everything. Which I believe he does, I don't think he missed anything. Dudeopi is going to go for this Criteria Power Bomb tank. Stores it a little early, but he's going to recharge it. Just for safety. Can't blame him. I don't know if that worked. Nope, alright, he's good. I guess that's a bit more lenient than it looks. Dudeopi opting to Ball Spark there? I've never seen that before. It's definitely slower than space boosting, but it might be faster than than just running through normally, so that's pretty cool. I respect that strat. The space boost there is a little tricky to get, so I can't blame him for doing that. So now Destructor is going to be heading towards the final boss, but there is one last item he needs to get. Dudeopi cleaning up Ruintorian fairly well. Now Destructor is going to be getting this very last item in the game. Oh, and misses the spark. That sucks. Or the jump, rather. It's a little tricky to break through there. It's a very timing-heavy thing. Now he's going to be space jumping in between these lasers. Or between these tripwires, I should say. Which is faster than running back and then sparking through. Which is a lot safer, but it is slower. Now is going to be fighting Mecha Ridley, the final boss. RNG does play a bit of a role here. Because you want to get a certain pattern, ideally, in order to shoot as many super missiles at his weak spot as possible. Looks like his emulator is kind of lagging a little bit, and Ridley is not moving. Something happened. Okay. Oh. Looks like Destructor is going... Okay, he gets a good pattern. That was weird. I don't know why he just didn't do anything for a second. All right, that was a that was a Mecha Ridley fight, if I ever saw one. So now he's going to be heading towards the escape ship, close out the run. A good way to check if you actually have collected every item is that if you did, Mecha Ridley has way more health than if you didn't. Because if you didn't get every item, he dies in like 6 supers. So, Destructor does indeed have 100%. Dudeopi, meanwhile, is about to enter Norfair to clean that up. Destructor about to go for Escape Spark. He wants to get a Shine Break by starting his Speed Booster in a very specific spot. Shine Breaking here, and then doing a series of Shine Sparks up until the top of this room to do a Ball Spark, which takes him through this next room. Does it very nicely. And now he's going to be doing his signature Black Pirate strat, which is very fast. Let's take a look at how he does here. Misses the charge shot, unfortunately, so it's going to be pretty slow. But Destructor is going to finish with a 112.23 RTA. GG. His SRL time is a 112.27. Now Dudeopi is going to be cleaning up Norfair. Dudeopi didn't necessarily need to grab those drops there, but Dudeopi making sure he's gotten everything, which he did. That's a bit of a shame. Doesn't get that speed booster because the blocks he's running on right now are actually destroyable. Wait, did he miss something? What did he miss? I actually don't know what Dudeopi is doing right now. He might have missed something. It didn't look like he did, though. Oh, he is missing something. He's missing a power bomb tank? The missile tank he's missing is one that he was going to go towards as part of the route. I don't know... The only power bomb tank is the one in the lava, which I did not see if Dudeopi got. I'm not sure what he's doing. He must not have gotten the power bombs in the lava. We'll have to see what happens. What's going on here? This is some funky stuff happening. Yep, he did not. He did not come here before. Okay, well, that's interesting. Very bizarre mistake. I'm not entirely sure why or like what happened there for Dudeopi to miss those two items. So Destructor is here for an interview. He can't talk though, so I think he's gonna try and type some stuff out for me to relay. So how do you feel about that run, Destructor? Destructor says it's kind of sad, and it was okay until Glass Tube, which I agree with that. Glass Tube kind of messed things up. Yeah, I feel like skipping or missing Glass Tube kind of throws a wrench in things pretty dramatically. Destructor says it really shook me and it took me out of my comfort zone. That makes sense. That would definitely mess with me. I think if you're forced to do that, make a route change like that sort of on the fly, it kind of just messes everything up in your head. Destructor says it was more because he was frustrated that he started to mess things up because of missing Glass Tube. I get that. It's definitely frustrating to miss. The space boost trap for Glass Tube is a little scary though. So I guess it just happens. Destructor says I have to practice it a bit. Got it multiple times where I get through with one block, so I'll just have to practice it. Or I'll have to get back to it a bit. Yeah, you know. That's definitely a hard trick. It's definitely... especially with space boosting, like I said. It's just a matter of practice. I think Dudeopi forgot something again. This has really been a strange run for him. Or maybe not. Yeah, he just went the wrong way. Is there anything else you have to say about that run, Destructor? Not really. That's cool. Destructor says he doesn't have much else to say about the run. It was bad for him, but it happens, and he'll do better when it matters. It's a good mindset to have. So Destructor has exited the voice chat. We're now finish up with Dudeopi's run. So the route that Dudeopi is doing is what Destructor wanted to do if he had gotten Glass Tube. So we were going to get a look at what most people do. Well, actually, what everyone does. Assuming you get Glass Tube. Dudeopi going free heal, which is definitely not part of the route normally. I think he just is making absolutely sure he can finish this run, which if you're not comfortable with it, then there's nothing wrong with it. Destructor practicing Glass Tube like he said he would. That's more or less what that was supposed to look like. He at least broke the block and didn't fall through, so he could have jumped through, but that's not fast. Ideally, with the space jump strat, or the space boost strat, you just go straight through. That's what that's supposed to look like. So since I've basically talked about everything that's pertinent in this run already, I can't think of anything else to talk about. You guys should subscribe to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/denvg. That's all I have to say about that. Isn't your channel twitch.tv/rasu123? That's actually my alternate account. It was supposed to be private, but the secret's out. Dudeopi is about to grab his last item. Probably going to go for the Shan Spark. He is. Definitely the safer thing to do. It costs a few seconds, but it's pretty worth going for, I would say. Looks like Destructor has gotten better. Well, not gotten better, but has what's the word? He has rectified his I don't know what I'm going for. He's getting class 2 now. I don't know what else he wanted to say. Oh, I hope I sound okay. Oh, okay. I was red for a second. Alright, let's see how Dudeopi's fight goes. Gets a good pattern there. You kind of want him to shoot out the fire like that. That was a pretty solid fight, actually. Good stuff. Now Dudeopi is escaping. Not much else left in this run. I guess while this is happening, I can actually look at the bracket so I can tell you guys what's coming up next in this tournament. Well, let's see how... Oh, that's quite unfortunate for Dudeopi. But luckily there's a backup for the Escape Spark that looks like that. Actually, he needed to break the speed block first, so he actually can do this again. Okay, there you go. He should be good from there. So we are in the final round of the Swiss group stage of this tournament. We have tomorrow. We have a very exciting race between C-Scotty-W and Polesmore at 12 p.m. Eastern. And then we will have a 4-way race 5 hours later between Monkey and Eagle and between John, Unfill, and Mandatobi. Dudeopi finishing with an RTA of 128.38, SRL time of 128.41. GG to both the runners. And that will about do it. I don't know if Dudeopi wants to come in for an interview. But that will do it for the race. Dudeopi will be coming in for an interview momentarily. Hey, Destructor.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. That was pretty. It was quite a run.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I had some ups and downs. I got really nervous. Even though it wasn't, Destructor wasn't my opponent, it was still kind of nerve wracking. I'm pretty happy with it. I got door clip, I got glass tube, and then one of the like small victories for me that's kind of pretty big is by power grip. Usually I wall jump up, but recently I've been getting pretty good at double bomb jump. I've ever completed bomb jumping up after power grip. So
Nice.
it's just a personal victory, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it went really well. It definitely would have PB'd without the just
The weirdness.
forgetting stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you panic and you're in that mindset, and then you just like
Totally.
blank.
Totally.
Because I mean, I did a practice run right before this, and I just had gone through those areas, and I ended up forgetting some items. I was just kind of kicking myself. But overall, I'm pretty happy about it. And I think it's a pretty good way to round out the tournament. So
yeah, for sure.
and I learned 100% for the tournament. I started playing in
Okay.
May, so I'm
Okay.
not the most experienced, but I'm pretty happy with how I've done, and it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, tournaments are a great way to get into the game, so it's good that you got into it when you did. This is probably one of the best times to run this game.
Right? Yeah. A lot of
So
people playing and a lot of streams to watch. Thanks for everyone coming out. Thanks for all the support from everyone. Thanks to you for commentating.
no problem.
I know it was kind of last minute. Thanks to Destructor for coming in and helping with the race. So yeah,
I think
that's all I have to
we're
say.
done here.
Yep. Thanks everybody.
Yep, thanks for watching, everyone.